What will Joe Espada's lineup look like?
Yeah.
Now that he's the manager, what's the lineup going to look like?
Yanier Diaz, baby.
It's Yanier Diaz season.
It is Yanier season.
Yeah.
No, I think he's gonna play his guys. Dusty played his guys, but I more in the sense of like, hey, we're gonna have an optimal lineup, and we're gonna push it down the field. Do
you think we see more consistent lineups?
Yeah.
Rather
Well, I
than-
mean, you would assume, yeah.
Rather than resting guys,
Well,
often.
I think this is what I think. The biggest knock against Dusty Baker, or at least for me, was the inconsistent lineup, right? 162 games, I wouldn't be surprised if there was like 140 different lineups, 150 different lineups. Might be a little bit hot take-ish or embellish a little bit, but there was a lot of different lineups. We saw it, we knew it, we talked about it ad nauseum, like we talk about it all the time. I think that the front office works with the manager
Yeah.
and has matchups, has tendencies, has analytically driven things. But then I also think there's got to be a good balance between still having feel and knowing the players and then also knowing the data that backs up things.
Yeah. He mentioned that in the press conference.
Right. And I think Dusty Baker leaned more towards the feel and his knowledge, which is fine. That's the way that he ran things.
Yeah.
But it's probably not how the front office wants things ran as a team and a lineup. So I think with Joe Espada, I think he will work better with Dana Brown and the front office guys or girls that are running these analytically driven spreadsheets and stat sheets and all this other stuff. So I think you have to have a good balance, and I think Joe Espada will do that.
Yeah, I think there was some unnecessary friction between Dusty's way and the Astro way in the sense of you got to think as on a human element, people were working to go through all this data, make a game plan, and then it wasn't used.
Right.
Like over 162, that would get incredibly frustrating.
Yeah.
That you're doing all this work.
You're putting hours of work into this thing to say for him to say, nah.
Yeah.
You know.
And now you have the opportunity for that to actually go into play. And obviously we know the fine balance of analytics and feel and gut. And there's no matter how you slice it, the other side's going to have their pitchforks ready because like cash pulling Snell in 2020 is still the most outrageous analytical thing of all time.
Terrible
where
decision.
The other side of it was Hinch also pulling Greinke.
Yeah.
And we've seen Dusty keep someone in too long or, ride the hot hand. We've seen Bochy just go to his guys this past year. Like you see, and no matter where you go, even the Arizona head coach, Tony
Lovello,
yeah.
It was damned if you do, damned if you don't. Zach Gallen is cruising through 6. He's at 65 pitches.
Yeah. He had a no-hitter going.
And you knew that third time through the lineup, it was like, well, here comes the juxtaposition of analytics and gut feel. Like if he goes out there and shoves, they're gonna be like, oh, look at the analytics. They wanted him pulled. Well, he left him in and he got shelled that third time through. Yeah. So like, it's always gonna be damned if you do, damned if you don't. But as long as you have a game plan, I think, and you're just not flying by the seat of your pants. And it's ironic because all we do here is fly by the seat of our pants. But if you have a game plan and you trust it and all the work that's gone into it, but you can also adapt in the moment to be like, I'm going to ride this one on my gut right here.
That's that.
And I think that speaks volumes.
Yeah, and also it goes back into what baseball is. It's a game of adjustments, and that has to start with your manager.
Oh, 100%.
So I think, in hindsight, when you look back at that Game 7 where A.J. Hinch pulls Zach Greinke, I'm sure he either still makes that move and doesn't go to Will Harris, maybe goes to Garrett Cole in the bullpen, or he doesn't. Or he just relies on Zach Greinke to get you through that inning.
And let's not dwell on it, but
no.
Will Harris made a good pitch and like
right. But when
a couple baseball things go the other way, that's a great decision.
Like no question, like
praising it.
What's the dude's Howie Kendrick put a good swing on it and got it off the foul. But what I'm saying is like you still have to have a good feel for feel in baseball absolutely. As a manager or a head coach in college, like whatever, or high school, youth baseball, whatever you're doing. You can look at statistics all day long, but there still comes a time when you have to go off of gut and feel. Like in Game 5 of the ALCS when 100%. Joe Espada, he pinch hit for Yanier and John Singleton. I bet there was analytics behind it, but also there's got to be some feel in that moment. You're going to pinch hit John Singleton, who didn't have that many at-bats.
And Chandler confirmed, finally, that Singleton had no idea he was batting that 9th inning until the 9th inning. So that confirms that was Espada making the calls.
Yeah.
And the way he lined it up is Yanier lead off with no one on. We know Yanier with no one on is freaking prime Mickey Mantle.
Yeah.
And then knowing that Singleton, honestly, is a really tough out because of his walk rate and doesn't expand the zone. And it leads to the Altuve iconic home run in that moment. That resonates. And look, there will be times where that falls flat on your face, where Yanier rolls over and Singleton strikes out. But as long as you're taking those chances late in the game and giving yourself an opportunity,
it's all about, the analytic nerds will tell you this.
Increasing the
I
percentage.
talk with them. You increase your percentage of your chance to win, whether that's 1%, 10%, 30%. Like, it might be a small adjustment that only increases your chance to win 1%, but wouldn't you rather have a 78% chance of winning rather than a 77% chance of winning? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
but yeah, you have to balance that with that feel.
And look, he's not gonna go 162-0. Everyone in the comment section, he's gonna lose 60 to 70 games. Like, that is the sport we're in. But as long as you're maximizing your probability to win and giving your guys a chance, it's almost like, it feels like in NFL or college football when you see a team punt like on 4th and 1, 4th and 2, and you just can see the demeanor on the sidelines of heads go down.
Yeah.
But like, if you go for it and you give your team a chance to put a game away or go get that first down,
make the defense beat you.
Yeah.
But also,
that's all. I feel like that's what we'll see more of this year. Like, we'll see less punting and more offense.
Yeah,
in that analogy.